family again. They suffered again. All of you, if you have children, I'd like to know how you would feel if your son or daughter was brutally murdered and they walk away with it they walked away with right now.
I'm part of that media that you just accused.
I gotta go.
It wasn't about race? Police made it clear.
Jumped out and you shot the other two boys when you got there, right?
Yes.
All right, so what's this thing do? You put this magazine in it,
Yeah.
and the magazine holds like 20,000 pellets?
Something, yeah.
Do you know if this battery's charged?
I don't know.
So is that the combination?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's talk about a tragedy that happened on June 2nd, 2022. It happened at LeBron James's I Promise School in Akron, Ohio. A young teenager lost his life. His name was Ethan Liming. And I think this story needs more attention. Ethan Liming took his last breath on June 2nd, 2022. It happened near the basketball courts of the I Promise School. It's a public school in Akron, Ohio. It all started with this stupid Orbeez splatterball gun TikTok challenge. It ran amok. What they thought would be a fun evening turned into tragedy. The heart-wrenching turn of events from the evening of Tuesday, June 2nd, 2022 into the early morning hours of Wednesday, June 3rd, 2022 unfolded the night that 17-year-old Ethan Liming lost his life. Ethan's three 17-year-old friends reacted in unbelief and sadness upon hearing the news that Ethan had passed away suddenly after a fight with these unsuspecting ball players who were getting shot at with the stupid Orbeez splatterball gun. As you'll see in the body cam footage, one of Ethan's friends' moms and one of Ethan's friends' dads showed up to the I Promise School that night. They were hopeful.
How are we doing, sir?
Is there a boy over there?
Yeah, what's going on? You said your son was involved in something over here?
And I don't know, they were supposed to be hanging out. He just ran home. His face was all bloody.
What's
Said
that?
they were out driving around. Didn't know what they were up to. They have one of these like splat ball guns, I guess. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
And they came down through here. I don't know what if they were shooting this thing at somebody down here, and all of a sudden they got jumped by a whole bunch of guys, and they took his phone. They smashed the gun. They were chasing. There was a big fight, and then he ran home, and just.
So, is that his vehicle or is that his friend's vehicle?
No,
do you know?
That's a vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I know his folks. I knew him from years ago, being on my son's baseball team. I know his folks are split up, but other than that, I don't know which parent he stays with.
Okay, I got.
Is he okay?
Let me be honest with you. No, he's not okay. Yeah. So we're probably gonna. A detective's probably gonna need to talk to your son about what happened and about trying to. Did he say? Did he know
alive?
these guys?
Is he alive?
Did he know these guys that jumped him or anything, or you don't know what was going on? He just. I gotcha. Does he need an ambulance? You said he was bloodied up. Is he?
He just got hit in the face and knocked over the head, but he ran home.
Okay, I gotcha. 1 second. 23.
23.
Yeah, can we get one more available unit to come over here to head over to an address to meet up with the caller?
Copy. Any unit in the area of 400 West Market, I Promise School.
No, he wasn't shot.
Speed up.
If you guys could, ma'am, if you guys could just stay back.
Copy. Thank you. 2309.
Is the guy all right?
Guys, if you guys could just stay back while we try to handle what's going on right now.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I don't know who he is. All right. But for right now, I need you guys to just stay back for right now. I appreciate it. Yeah.
You know the skin color?
I mean, I don't know who he is. I don't know who he. I got you. Who are you looking for over here?
No, we all knew. We know what's going on because.
So what is going on?
They got into a fight.
Who got into a fight?
Her son.
And they were over here?
They were all over here, and he
We
just...
just know.
Okay. All right. 1 sec. Can I get your name and information with you as well?
Yeah, he's at home, but I guess he was riding with the guy that's driving that car, and he said his phone is in their car.
Okay.
In the guy's car right there. So.
And then, was your other son with him, or was this?
I only got the one rode in this car, and they said they was coming up here and play basketball for a minute, and then he just ran back home and said somebody was fighting, and they talking about they gonna kill him. I just was coming back to see if the person was all right. So is he all right? Is he conscious? He for real? What?
Hey man, who was the other guy you said was over here? Was he?
Soon they learned the tragic news. A fight had turned into a death. Ethan's friends had wrapped their arms around one another's shoulders. They tried to comfort each other in their individual grief. As they made their way downtown Akron to the police station, getting transported to give their statements as witnesses, one of them sobbed. But what began as a mischievous night with Ethan and his 3 high school friends all riding around, emulating that stupid TikTok challenge where people show themselves shooting this splatterball toy gun at innocent people and watching their reactions, it ended with the tragic loss of life when 3 of the people who were unsuspected targets, they freaked out, thinking they were being shot at with a real gun. Now those 3 people were Deshaun and Tyler Stafford, their brothers, and Donovan Jones, who is cousin to the Staffords. Donovan Jones is now 22, of Akron. He pleaded guilty already to 2 misdemeanor charges, 2 misdemeanor counts of assault, and he received a suspended jail sentence. So he was done. Summit County Common Pleas Judge Tammy O'Brien, she immediately gave Donovan a suspended 180-day jail sentence. She gave him credit for the 56 days he already served in jail. She made it contingent upon Donovan obeying all the laws in the next year. Now, Donovan's attorney is Eddie Siplin, and he said, I don't necessarily agree that he should have been charged, but those are appropriate charges, and the way the judge resolved this was appropriate. Therefore, with Donovan out of the way, already pleading guilty to those assault charges, only the Stafford brothers recently went on trial. They claimed self-defense. It was a trial held in the Summit County Common Pleas Court. Now, let's go over everything that happened that fateful night. So here's what happened. It was the first evening of summer break from Firestone High School for the boys when Ethan and 3 of his friends went out on June 2nd, 2022. Assistant Summit County Prosecutor Jenny Shuki said that Ethan was driving and he and his friends had smoked some marijuana. In the trial, they mentioned that Ethan sold marijuana, but Ethan and his friends that night had 2 Orbeez toy guns with them, and they shoot these gel pellets. According to Shuki, she said they had dumb teenage brain, the idea to just shoot these toy guns at random people. This stems from the stupid Orbeez TikTok challenge. It encourages people to do this, take a video of the results, and it usually shows these stunned, caught off guard people fearful that they're being harmed. According to Shuki, she said they thought it was funny. They thought it was a joke, Ethan and his friends. I can imagine first day of summer break, what are we gonna do? Let's hang out, let's not be bored, let's get a little high, let's joyride and try and have some fun. But it was about 10:45 p.m. that night when Ethan drove over to the I Promise School parking lot, and there's a basketball court there. It's really nice. It's lit up at night. That's when 2 of Ethan's friends got out of the car. They walked over to the basketball court. and they shot the guns through the chain link fence that surrounds the basketball court at several teens they saw just playing basketball. And then Ethan's friends ran back to Ethan's car. You can imagine them thinking, oh, this will be great, this will be funny, I saw it on TikTok, why not do it? But no, it went horribly wrong.
Okay, so when you guys pull in, I'm gonna start there. Right about at 1:42. Okay, you see Ethan pulling his car in there?
Yeah.
You said you were front seat passenger, so are you getting out right now?
I am, yeah.
All right, and we see you got the splat blaster, you and Mackay?
Yeah.
And you're the one who runs a little further, like you're still running right now?
Yeah.
And what was their reaction when you shot the splat blaster at them in the court?
They kind of just went to the other side of the court.
And you said you're not saying anything when you're doing that?
Yeah, no.
All right, we see you get back in the vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Now, the person running over with the basketball, do you know who that was?
Donovan Jones.
Is that your memory of it? Or?
Yeah, it's my memory of it.
Okay. All right, so one person's there, and now we have another, one of the Stafford brothers coming over? Is that fair?
Yeah.
So you're out of the vehicle, what's happening?
So this is when they started, like, all going, like jumping in, basically.
That's you kind of walking to the front of the vehicle?
Yeah.
All right, so that's you getting in the vehicle?
Yeah.
So Mackay is now getting in the front seat, and he's the one driving over towards Ethan, right?
Yeah.
Now that person walking back over to your car, I think you said that was Donovan Jones?
Yeah.
So you're still in the front. Do you get out to try to get Ethan in the car, or how does that work?
No, I stayed in.
So it's Mackay and Lamarian?
Yeah.
I'm going to stop it at 412. I'm actually going to back it up. At 142. So when you get out and you're running over there, that's kind of on that little sidewalk area, or is it on the grass, what you're running on?
Yeah.
Which one?
It's like the sidewalk leading up to the entrance, and then there's like a grass hill kind of going down.
Okay. Now, I think you stated just a little while ago, oh, hold on, let's get to it, sorry. You're running back. And that first person running over, you stated that's Donovan Jones?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, that would be my question, are you sure? Because I think at another point, maybe you said it was somebody else. Do you remember for certain today which one it was that ran over first?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Initially, the basketball players, these are the ones shot at, Deshaun, Tyler, and Donovan Jones. Initially, they ran. And part of me wonders if they didn't run because maybe they were embarrassed. I think there was a girl there. Reportedly, there was a girl there. I wonder if they weren't embarrassed when they realized, oh, in righteous anger. He wasn't really shooting at us with a real gun, but it was a toy gun. So they were enraged. You're going to see where the defense attorney imitates this gun in court, and you can hear the sound. He calls it the sound of like a machine gun.
That splat gun right there, is that your splat gun or his splat gun?
I don't know. They're the same. We had the exact same model.
How do these things work?
How do they work?
Yeah.
John, there's scissors right.
You put gel balls in the gun and you shoot them.
Now there's a battery, right?
Yes.
Can you tell by looking whether this one's yours or somebody else's?
We had the same one.
Did you charge your battery up before you went out that night?
I think I just had it on the charger before. I kind of just always do. Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Now, theoretically, this thing hasn't been fired in over a year, right?
Right.
Okay, but it's either yours or Ethan. Did you guys do a lot of shooting with it before that night?
We just shot each other with it.
Okay. And you jumped out and you shot the other two boys when you got there, right?
Yes.
All right. So, what's this thing do? You put this magazine in it?
Yeah.
And the magazine holds like 20,000 pellets?
Something, yeah.
You know if this battery's charged?
I don't know.
So is that the combination?
Yes.
Okay.
He demonstrated it in court for the jury. After they ran away, Tyler and Deshaun and Donovan had run at first, but then they walked back over to Ethan's car. Of course, they were pissed off. Ethan got into an argument with Deshaun, and then Ethan shot Deshaun with the splatterball gun. The two of them then got into a physical fight, and then Tyler and Donovan joined in the fight. Even though they had initially walked away, Tyler, Donovan, and Deshaun, Tyler again approached Ethan and the fight resumed. Too bad they couldn't have all just stayed away. After Ethan and his friends had fired these gel pellet gun thingies that are frozen usually to make them harder, they fired them at the Stafford brothers. The Staffords were minding their own business playing basketball last June. Deshaun approached Ethan. Ethan shot him with the Orbeez gun. The two of them started fighting. Tyler and Donovan joined in. It made it a 3-on-1 fight at that point. Unfair fight. Deshaun had walked to where Tyler and Ethan were fighting, and Deshaun punched Ethan in the face, knocking him to the ground. The defense attorney is going to call it the unluckiest punch in the world. Well, Shuki said Deshaun and Tyler then punched and kicked Ethan several times while he was down on the ground. Now, in the body cam footage that I obtained from Akron police, I did hear one cop ask, I believe, about a shoe print on Ethan's chest. It was all too much. I believe the fatal blow, though, would have been the blow when he fell back from being punched and his head hit the pavement. So at the end of the fight, according to Shuki, Deshaun punched Ethan while Ethan was fighting with Tyler, and Ethan fell backwards, hit his head on the pavement. Now, at that point, Shuki said Ethan's friends ran from the scene, but not before trying to get help for Ethan. Ethan's friends were trying to get Ethan into his car and take him to the hospital to get him help. But Donovan began punching them, and he even took their cell phones, and he threw the cell phones of Ethan's friends to the ground and broke them. So they couldn't exactly call for help. They couldn't get Ethan in his car in order to drive it to the hospital. But Tyler and Deshaun were arguing with Ethan's friends, and so Ethan's friends ran from the scene. You know, they didn't want to also get punched and end up on the ground like Ethan. Tyler even got into Ethan's car and drove it to the west end of the parking lot. And there he parked the car, he took a cell phone from it and threw it to the ground and broke it. I guess he didn't want anyone having a cell phone at that point. He didn't want anyone getting help, apparently. Then Tyler, Deshaun, and Donovan got in their car and left. They left Ethan alone, lying on the parking lot pavement. None of them called 911, but Ethan's friends did alert police because we've heard that 911 call.
Akron 911, what's the location of your emergency?
Oh, we're at King School, or no, we're at the I Promise School in Akron, Ohio.
Okay.
Our friend just got knocked out.
Okay.
We don't know what to do.
What is your name?
My name is Ephraim.
Okay, is there a fight happening there now?
Hey, man. We're sorry, man. We didn't mean it. Sorry, what was that?
Is there a fight going on?
There was.
Okay, are the other people still there?
Yeah, it's all good. It's okay, though. It's cool now. It's cool now.
Okay, is your friend unconscious?
Yeah.
Is he breathing?
Is he breathing? Yeah. Yeah, he's breathing. He's breathing.
Okay. Are you with him now?
Yeah.
How old is he?
I'm not trying to fight, though.
How old is he?
What was that? I can't.
How old is he? Hello?
He's 17.
He's 17? Hello, are you still here? Hello?
It's heartbreaking where Ethan's friends are trying to say, no, it's cool, you know, just basically stop this. Ethan's friends who had been with Ethan, instead, they each rushed home and 911 ended up being called. Now, no charges were filed against Ethan's friends, but we will see, you know, parents related to Ethan's friends in the body cam footage. Defense attorney John Sin was the one who represented Deshaun. Sin said that the brothers were just defending themselves and they were defending each other after they thought they were being attacked with real guns. But Assistant Summit County Prosecutor Jenny Schuke said they went too far. That was the statement that Schuke made during her opening statements. Deshaun and Tyler, brothers, had a joint trial. Schuke said, "We are responsible for our actions, whether we're in a fight. Even if we're provoked, we're still responsible for the outcome. We are still responsible if a punch leads to death." However, Attorney Sin said, the law says you can stand your ground in a fight. You don't have to run away if someone is attacking you. You can use reasonable force. The Stafford's trial began recently in Judge Tammy O'Brien's courtroom. It began with jury selection naturally, and then after a day-long break, they actually took jurors over to the I Promise School at 400 West Market Street in Akron, where Ethan was found just lying on the ground that night. Members of the jury were even taken over to the basketball courts at I Promise School at the start of the trial just to get the lay of the land. I like it when they let the members of the jury see where a crime actually happened. I believe it helps them. It was a difficult case for everyone, and unfortunately race came into play, even though Ethan and his friends were a diverse bunch of 17-year-olds. The men who were charged with assaulting Ethan were all black. Ethan is white, and the 3 friends he was with that night, 2 are black and 1 is white. So it was a diverse group in terms of Ethan's group. But Tyler Stafford's defense attorney was Donald Galick, and the most serious charge that the now 21-year-old Deshaun Stafford of Akron and 21-year-old Tyler Stafford of Cleveland faced was involuntary manslaughter. So the jurors, when they were taken out to the basketball court, they saw the basketball courts, they saw the parking lot of the school, they even saw the parking lot of the McDonald's restaurant next to the school. And then the jury returned to the courthouse for opening statements and the start of testimony. So you can watch the whole trial if you're interested in this one over on WKYC's YouTube channel. I put the links below, and if you want to see all the body cam video footage, of course it's blurred, nothing graphic, you know, and I'm insured to cover Ethan and everything. Watch it at the Patreon link below. But you will see a lot of happenings. One guy was getting crunk with the cops, asking if that was his family members. There's a lot going on. But family members and friends of both Ethan and the Stafford brothers attended the first day of trial. It was a small courtroom and it was packed. As you can imagine, it was very emotional for Ethan's family and they became upset several times, especially when graphic photographs of Ethan just lying there without life in the parking lot were shown. The prosecutor said Ethan and his friends thought shooting jail guns would be funny, but Shuki noted that Ethan was a rising star at Firestone High School. Ethan played basketball and football at Firestone High School, and when the news spread that he was gone, tributes went up all around the school. There were vigils, he was well loved. You know, his friend said, yeah, maybe he wanted to be a little bit of a tough guy, but I'm sure he never expected this. And Shuki did admit that the Stafford brothers did not knowingly try to do away with Ethan. She did say their actions, however, led to his death. She said, I submit, when you determine the force used against Ethan, look at whether that was proportionate to the threat. While they did not want to cause his death, they did, and they are responsible for their actions for the outcome of the assault. So even she called it an assault. Sin, however, argued that Deshaun and Tyler didn't create this situation. So attorney Sin said the brothers, who enjoyed playing basketball and they often just went over to the I Promise school court, were shooting hoops, you know, when they were suddenly startled at being shot at. He said those brothers didn't think it was funny. You know, a lot of people didn't know about this stupid Orbeez challenge. But Sin said that Deshaun, who was still holding a basketball, I guess when the shots rang out, approached Ethan and said, "What the F? What's wrong with you?" He said that's when Ethan got out of his car and shot Deshaun in the head several times with an Orbeez gun. He said that's when the two of them fought, Deshaun and Ethan, and Deshaun was thrown to the ground at one point so hard that Deshaun vomited. So you can tell I watched all the body cam videos, and in one of the body cam videos I did hear a cop warn the other cops, you know, watch out, there's vomit on the ground.
Ooh. Where's the witness?
Nobody's here.
Nobody's here?
They got a car abandoned over here.
The fuck? Nobody else is around?
Got shoes all over the place, and that car is just sitting. I didn't even see him.
He does not look good. Car 1.
Car 1.
Add a plate to the call break.
Go ahead.
John Henry Charles 3241. It's a blue Kia, unoccupied.
Copy.
Miss, you see what happened? Did you see what happened?
No, I just see some boys running that way.
Which way? That way? How many?
It was 2 of them.
Sir, did you see what happened? Are you two together?
I'm looking for my boy.
Are you two together? Are you two together?
Yeah, go ahead and report number.
I don't think this is him. Oh, you got an ID?
That's going to be 67436 67436.
No.
No, that's
Oh, man.
that's close though.
But that's not.
That's not him.
No.
Did you call? Do you have anything in his wallet or?
I haven't. His pockets look like they're turned inside out.
Inside of him.
I'm assuming so too, because that car is just left over there.
Yeah, this one was in the car over here. What's the last name on that?
Well, this one.
Oh, that's one of those Floby shooters or whatever.
Alrighty.
Watch your
We
feet.
need to call for
1497 and 1549 or 23.
No.
Copy. 2254.
Hey, were you around here when any of this was going on, man? You didn't see anything or anything?
We all pulled up. I was walking down when we all pulled up.
Yeah.
My welfare check?
All right, man.
Sorry, car time. Can you head to 1666
Right.
Maxton for welfare check?
Sir,
What's up?
can I ask what's going on? What happened?
You can ask, but we're not going to tell you anything. Were you here? Did you see anything that happened?
What's that?
Did you see anything that happened?
No, I didn't.
Okay, all right.
But I am.
Go ahead and move on, man. No, go. Are those lights bugging you? Behind him? Oh, here he is.
Where's that at? Windows. It's west. Akron.
I want to see what's back here.
Yeah. Wait.
He's leaking pretty.
Is he breathing?
Huh?
He's breathing, right?
No.
Is he done?
Yeah, I mean, that's great. That looks like
Gray matter.
yeah, he's on.
He's 22.
How old was he?
04, 18. Almost 18, 17.
17.
Did you call a supervisor?
Yeah, he's calling right now.
I found him.
Okay.
I didn't know he was 22.
Is he 22 now?
They're saying he's 22.
Yeah. Okay. They said they couldn't find a pulse. I didn't know when they put those.
Do you have crime scene tape?
Yeah.
We need a big area of crime scene tape. Oh, this is...
Good evening, in service 1552, 1552.
yeah, maybe.
This is where we stop.
I didn't know. We had no idea where the guy was.
I didn't either.
I went around the back.
I didn't see him until I was about to turn.
Yeah, that's.
That's what's up. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, no, you're good. I just want to make sure if there's anything underneath here before we start moving it. Hey, will you move my crew? Oh, never mind.
I didn't see any of that stuff.
No,
You
yeah.
have them move it?
Yeah, you're good.
I'm gonna pull it around.
23.
Well, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, you just said, do we have a unit in the area of what?
We have a unit in the area with crime scene tape. report comment head that way.
Front of it. Yeah.
Copy 45.
Thanks.
Yep.
18.
I'm gonna back my car up as well.
What's location of the unit asking for contact tape?
So wait,
The I Promise School.
yeah, let's not. If he's definitely gone, don't mess with him. Or we'll wait till the end he comes out.
Touch him. We just going off what we saw.
Yeah. This
Copy
is.
2259.
Does this match what's on his chest?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I do. Here, just hold those for me. I'm gonna move my cruiser back. Be careful because there's puke over there too. Oh, that's right. I keep saying the same thing, the same person.
The attorney Sin said that Deshaun threw the unluckiest punch in the history of the world. He threw it at Ethan because with Ethan falling backwards and striking his head, that's most likely what took him out. He said the Staffords, meanwhile, thought that Ethan was simply unconscious on the ground. But Sin said ultimately the autopsy report showed that Ethan died from blunt force trauma to the head. Sin said it's about the punch. Was the punch thrown in self-defense, or was this a vicious attack on Ethan? Apparently when we get to the jury's findings, they're going to think it was self-defense. Attorney Donald Galick, who represents Tyler, he said getting hit with Orbeez pellets feels like being struck with a rubber band. He says the guns shoot at a rapid pace, discharging 7 Orbeez per second, 7 Orbeez pellets per second. Galick said the Staffords, they didn't know it was a joke. And Galick also said that Ethan's autopsy showed he had a bad injury to the back of his head and also that he had injuries to his knuckles, which Galick said could have been from the punches that Ethan threw. So the cops who found Ethan that night, they were the first to testify. It was Officer Kyle Walter, who said he arrived just expecting to find some, teenage kids fighting. Instead, he saw an empty parking lot and Ethan lying on the ground. He does not look good, Walter said, in the body-worn camera footage that they played for the jury. I remember hearing him say that when I watched the body cam videos. And the cops, God bless them, and the paramedics for even being able to come up on that scene. Some of them, it's like nervous laughter and lighthearted joking you will hear. I know it doesn't mean they don't care. It means they're trying to deal with this horrific job. Now, while the paramedics tried to help Ethan, Officer walked around to see if he could find anyone who saw what happened. He didn't find any witnesses, but he saw that Orbeez gun laying on the ground. He told the court he recognized it because his kids asked him to buy them a similar one. And Walter said that's when paramedics told them that Ethan was dead. Indeed, you hear it. People are kind of stunned when they show up and they can't believe this fight turned into this tragedy. But Sin asked Walter if he was aware that law enforcement across the country has started warning people about the dangers of this stupid Orbeez challenge that involves, shooting at random strangers with these toy guns. Officer Walter said he didn't know about the challenge. He didn't hear about it until after Ethan died. Attorney Sin then asked the officer, is it dangerous to do some fake drive-by shooting with an Orbeez gun? And that's when Assistant Prosecutor Matt Kuhn objected, and Sin just withdrew his question. But he left that thought lingering in the air for the jury. Prosecutor Kuhn asked Walter if he could you tell if this Orbeez gun found at the scene was a fake gun? And of course Walter said yes, he could tell it was a fake gun because of the colors. It was white with bright color accents, so we knew it wasn't anything real. But Sin came back and asked Walter, is there an easy way to tell if a gun is a toy in the dark? And that's when Officer Walter said no. And that's when Attorney Sin asked the cop, if I'm shooting you in the face with this thing, are you going to smile at me? And Officer Walter admitted no, like he's not going to smile and think it's some joke if you're caught up in the dark trying to get exercise, trying to stay out of trouble, trying to just play basketball on a well-lit court that LeBron James has provided the community, and all of a sudden you hear this rapid fire. Is your first thought going to be, oh, it's just a joke? The trial resumed with Ethan's friends and the medical examiner testifying. It was an important trial because Deshaun had faced up to 11 years in prison if he would have been found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, and Tyler faced up to 3 years in prison. Now, initially, police arrested Deshaun and Tyler Stafford and their cousin Donovan Jones, and they were held at the Summit County Jail on $1 million bonds. You can see the aftermath of the arrest in bodycam videos as they are transported to jail. But instead of murder, the men were indicted on lesser charges when a Summit County grand jury in late July 2022 opted to indict all three men on lesser charges. And I see why that happened. True crime cases can be crazy. When this first came out, I couldn't believe it. The first narrative being told was that Ethan and his friends were minding their own business. We didn't know anything about the Orbeez gun initially, and we didn't know about them pulling this prank. They made it sound like the three men who were charged just, came at Ethan without any reason whatsoever. But the grand jury must have seen enough evidence to believe that it was not murder. When Deshaun punched Ethan in the face, he was coming to the defense of his brother Tyler, who was fighting with Ethan, according to court records. Brad Gessner, chief counsel for the Summit County Prosecutor's Office, said additional information came to light after the three men were originally charged that impacted the decisions of the grand jury. And I wonder what that was. He said those aren't facts that can be made public. But the grand jury saw enough, obviously, to know not only was Ethan's loss of life such a tragedy, it was still one that could have been prevented. Attorney Sen said that we're pretty confident once the jurors hear all the facts that they will not have a choice but realize this tragedy was brought on by the actions of the victim and his friends, which is horrible to think of. It's not victim blaming, it's just explaining the entire situation as it happened. Gessner said, at this point we've been focused on the facts that led to Ethan's death and those who committed the offense. So he was responding to the fact that all of Ethan's friends were juveniles and that's why they weren't charged. So Gessner was not focused on Ethan's friends, not being charged with anything, which I don't think they should have been. Defense attorneys were pleased with the lesser charges and the outcome, but of course Ethan's family members were disappointed. According to attorney Mike Callahan, who used to represent Ethan's family at the time, he said that they were made victims when their son was murdered and made victims again by the system. So you can see Ethan's family's attorney going off too once the verdict was in. But Attorney Sen, who was a lawyer for Deshaun Stafford, said the charges were more reflective of what actually happened in the incident. Sen said previously, I'm confident once all the facts are heard, all these boys will be going home. So we don't know what their sentence will be. They were only convicted of assault, the brothers. So who knows? We look forward to their October 26th, I believe it is, I have on my calendar. They're hearing then for their sentencing. Summit County Police Judge Tammy O'Brien had significantly reduced the bond for all three men, and neither Tyler nor Deshaun Stafford had ever faced any significant criminal charges before in this case. You can hear one of the arrestees in the body cam footage tell the Summit County Jail officials that they had never been there before. Don Galick, who represents Tyler, described him as, quote, a very polite, well-spoken young man. Galick had said not to slight any media, but he is different from how some of the initial news reports portrayed him. And Tyler had remained free on bond since his bond was lowered. So it did turn into sort of a caricature. That's why I really wanted to make this video. You will see very polarizing articles about this case. First of all, you don't see enough, and the ones you do see went with the narrative that Ethan and his friends were just minding their own business. All of a sudden, these boys attacked them and Ethan ended up dead. When you really dig into the facts of the case, you'll see that's not the full story. Deshaun has been in and out of jail because of repeated minor violations of his bond, such as running errands when he was supposed to be at home. So Judge O'Brien had allowed Deshaun out on bond for the week leading up to the trial just so he could meet with his attorney. Attorney Sin said that Deshaun is engaged and he has young children. Back then, one was on the way. He had a young child. I'm assuming that child has been born now, if I'm not mistaken. But Attorney Sin did call the Stafford brothers close. He said Deshaun loves to play basketball. He often frequented those I Promise courts, which are known to be among the nicest in Akron. They're lit up at night, and Deshaun also lived near the school. So it was some kind of activity where, especially in the summertime, in the springtime, all the time, someone could go to get some exercise, de-stress, and just hopefully not be in trouble, hopefully not do anything wrong. Sin said it's a nice place for kids from the community to go where they could be safe and away from trouble. That night, trouble came to them, which is so sad. But defense attorneys were able to make a good case for self-defense for the Stafford brothers, especially under Ohio's new Stand Your Ground law. The burden of proof was on prosecutors to prove that a person wasn't defending himself or herself. Attorney Sin said defendants no longer have a duty to retreat. Gaelic said 10 years ago you would say, he should have turned around and run away. Today you don't have to turn around and run away. But Attorney Sin was the one who had the gel pellet gun, like the ones that Ethan and his friends used, and Attorney Sin shot it for the jury so they could hear the machine gun-like sound it makes. He said if you heard it, you would think someone was shooting at you. And he added that this happened at night, and it was with gel pellets that had been frozen to make them, harder, more bullet-like almost. It scares the hell out of you, he said. Attorney Sin said he wishes the social media site that promoted the challenge in the first place that Ethan and his friends were supposedly trying could be held responsible for the part it played in the tragedy. He said they should have been warned how dangerous this is. Ethan's family has said they hope what happened to Ethan will serve as a warning to other young people about the dangers of challenges like this. And that's my prayer too with this video. I pray in Jesus that people will just stop with these stupid TikTok challenges. I mean, I've seen the most dangerous ones like the cinnamon challenge. You don't want to do that because it can literally asphyxiate you, or the stupid Orbeez challenge. We see what happened there. There's been a ton of others I won't mention, some involving fire. I mean, they're just horrible, and they can end in tragedy. Meanwhile, this was a tragedy. It was the loss of a young, promising life. Ethan's obituary says that he loved sports, he loved playing football, basketball, and baseball at Firestone High School, where he had just completed his junior year, so he should have been able to just go on to his senior year. He was a loyal friend, always helping those in need. Ethan was kind, compassionate, and an honor student and an athlete with a radiant smile. Now, Ethan's best friend described him best when he said that Ethan didn't care about the color of your skin or the money in your pocket. He cared about what was in your heart. Indeed, the loss of Ethan was felt throughout the community. The bodycam videos show Ethan's 3 17-year-old friends as they experienced that stomach-dropping and heart-hurting news that the melee they had just witnessed near the basketball courts had taken Ethan's life. These 3 boys all end up downtown at the police station telling cops what they witnessed. They're very upset. One of them sobs when the police goes to get him from his home. I mean, I know if they just had $1 million to could do it all over again. Everyone that night, I'm sure. Everything went too far. One boy sobs as the cop picks him up. Another says that he needs therapy. He'll have to speak to someone to deal with everything he's been through, everything he's experienced. One boy is claiming it was his fault, as if he could have prevented that unseen tragedy. The cop tells the boy don't blame himself. It wasn't his fault, she said. Evidence is collected, and mostly people are just in shock as they show up to the scene. What began that night as a seemingly fun and mischievous night of just joyriding and using that stupid splatter gun toy against strangers, because they saw it on TikTok, the strangers assumed they were under real attack, and it turned into an evening of tragedy. tragedy where a promising young man's earthly existence ended. So I think the moral of this whole thing is a cautionary tale. Yeah, you might see something that looks fun on TikTok, whatever the next challenge is. If only someone told me the other day if they could publish good challenges, you know, clean up your room challenge or something. Don't follow the stupid challenges. James 3:13. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds done in the humility that comes from wisdom. It's hard. We were all young once. We all did things that, by the grace of God, didn't get us taken off this earth. Unfortunately, the events that night ended with Ethan losing his life. Thank God he was raised in a believing household, and I pray he was a believer and he's at peace now in heaven with God and Jesus. And I wanted this video to just stand as a cautionary warning not to follow the stupid TikTok challenges you might see out there, because they don't generally have your best interest at heart. We'll see what the charges were, but this whole thing just reminds me of some horrible tragedy that affected the lives of course, Ethan in the center, his friends, and even the ones who were convicted of assaulting him. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for this case and many more.